Hello my friends, Boomy here once again with another video for you, my Star Wars brothers and sisters. How's everyone doing today in a galaxy far, far, far? Oh, wait, what? I'm hopeful. Oh, wait. This is your first time on the channel. Make sure you hit the subscribe button for all your Star Wars fun, news, yes, sometimes guides, I guess, and updates right here, right now. My friends, we have more news about Star Wars Fate of the Old Republic, which I was not thinking we would get news so shortly after we got news about Fate, because we got the first news we got from was about how most of the team is comprised of old school goats of BioWare Entertainment, and I was really excited about that. Right? They passed all the check marks. Right? They didn't make any of the current games that have plundered and burned to the ground with a bunch of nonsense in them, which is good. Nope, these are the people who made the games that everyone grew up on and they love. Well, we have some more good news coming our way for Fate, and I would almost argue for the gaming industry. We now know how Star Wars Fate of the Old Republic is being funded, and we get this from a PC Gamer article written by Lincoln Carpenter talking about what is going on. So let's take a look and see what Lincoln had to say, and then I will give you my opinion about this and why I am not so doom and gloom on this as I know some people are. As you'll see right here, this article written by Lincoln Carpenter, we're just going to go through the most important parts of this article. A year after the project's announcement, we now know how Argonaut Studios is paying the bills. Bloomberg reports that Fate of the Old Republic is being funded by investment from Greater Than Group, a new holding company launched by former NetEase president of global investments and partnerships, Simon Zhao. Can I just say, Simon, I'm very glad you have a name that I can pronounce, because sometimes, whew, those names are hard to pronounce. Now, when it comes to NetEase and even Tencent, these are companies that literally have their hands in everyone's cookie jar. And if you're not, like I said, the Western gaming company has really disheartened a lot of people, especially not just us gamers, but the investors in these games. So it's interesting that he is coming from that background, but he left that background after the whole, when NetEase especially was pulling out of the Western company and ditching a lot of things right there. So the group was started. Let's continue. It says, after 13 years of negotiating NetEase funding deals for Devolver, Marvel Snap, Developer Second Dinner, the Chinese release of Sky, Children of the Light, and more, Zhu left the Chinese tech Goliath in 2025. His departure followed NetEase's wide-scale retreat from gaming industry investments, which saw many of its publishing partnerships end in abrupt game cancellations and studio closures. We've all been living through that. Casey Hudson's last studio, Humanoid Origin, was one of the developers forced to close shop after losing NetEase funding. While he says big tech walked away from the gaming industry to funnel capital into the AI investment gold rush, Zhu told Bloomberg that Greater Than Group's investors, all very successful individuals, gaming and tech entrepreneurs, he says, aim to tap the potential of the overabundance of undervalued game developers left floundering by years of widespread industry turmoil. He says, you can have player satisfaction, you can have commercial success, you can have the achievement of art, Zhu said. You don't need to compromise or sacrifice one thing for the other. So let's give the best creator the opportunity to work on a dream project. Everyone wins. I mean, I agree with that. My concern, or I wouldn't really call it a concern, is that we have to be careful in this, because sometimes, as we've seen recently in games, if you give them a bit too much room, things go haywire. At the same time, when you have gaming companies or investment groups that are like, listen, you make the game that you want to make. Hands off, here's the money, you do you. We're not gonna be a Microsoft and pull the strings all over the place, which is exactly what happened with Expedition 33. Their investment company said, listen, this sounds great, you do you, here's the money, you make the best game you can make. If Greater Than does that, I think the gaming industry is going to start seeing a revival and a golden age. I mean, it's way early to tell, but this gives me good hope that there is a good future ahead of us. But let's continue. He concludes, in an industry that treats developers so badly, Zhu says, there should always be a rebalancing force. Presumably, we're meant to understand greater than as that corrective. In addition to Argonaut and Fate of the Old Republic, greater than is investing the $100 million it raised into Bullet Farm, a studio founded by former Call of Duty Black Ops designer David Vonderhaar, and yet another developer that was caught in the NetEase funding cull. At this year's GDC, Vonderhaar said that the studio's current unannounced project is like if David Lynch made shooters. Zoo cast greater than's initial investments in benevolent light, saying it's about making a good case that we can make good money and provide good entertainment to people in a decent and honest way. If greater than can follow through, it's a demonstration the industry could certainly use. And I agree with that 100%. The industry as we see it right now, the AAA Western especially, it's all over the place. It's way too bloated. There's way too many consultants or activists, way too many managers, and people are just burnt out. And honestly, like I said, the industry is so bloated, you're kind of seeing a lot of that with the firings that have happened when, companies realize, wait, we have to trim the fat or we will not survive. And a lot of the positions in the gaming industry recently, especially the last 5 to 10 years, a lot of that has just been fat. Nonsense hirings and duplicating of jobs that just never needed to happen. And we're seeing that, and we're paying, or they, the developers, are paying the consequences for that type of dumb management type of style. And I think that's good. I mean, my heart goes out to all the people who lost their job. At the same time, if we want games to return to how they used to be, how we remember them to be, it's not just a nostalgic trip. This will literally save the gaming industry and games for the future. They need to run tight and thin ships and have as this mentality of, here's the money, we believe in you, go make the game you want. And yes, they want to make a profit too. Any investment person does. When I invest in stocks, I want to make money from that investment. There's nothing wrong with that. It's the only time it becomes something wrong is when corporate greed starts getting into it and everything starts to suffer because of that. Just saying, but this is not a video for that type of conversation. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you like this idea? Do you like what's going on? Do you see a future? Are you skeptical? Either way, let's keep the conversation going on down there. Like I said, I see hope from this. I cautiously walking into it with some hope, but I do see hope. I think this is the right direction the industry needs to start taking. But again, my friends, put your comments in the comment section below. Let me know all your thoughts down there. Make sure you hit that like button, the share button, and that bell notification button for all the times I do put videos out. And I do put videos out quite frequently these days. And hey, hit that hype button if you're on mobile. It really does help us get to, in fact, any way that you interact with this video puts us to the front of the line as we are on the road to 10,000. And with you, my friends, we can do it. Do you want a monthly podcast, which I swear to God I really need to do? And do you want to get behind the scenes stuff to get, just learn what's happening in Boomy's life and just other random stuff? Why not become a member to the channel? It literally does keep the lights on. Either way, my friends, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and become part of the family here at Boomy Nation, the freak show YouTube, the black sheep of gaming. And as always, my friends, remember to be kind. It's about community. And don't forget to spay and neuter your Wookiees. We'll see you later, my friend. Good day.
Boomy Nation, simply the best. Epic tales on every shore. Hit that button, ask for more.